A campus custodian has been arrested for allegedly stealing a backpack. Hear more about the accusations next.
In Shanghai, China, COVID cases are on the rise. We'll take a look at the citywide lockdown.
An emotional message at the Grammys from President Zelenskyy inspires more people to stand with Ukraine.
Annenberg TV News is next.
A USC custodian is facing a possible felony charge. Good evening, I'm Evan Waino.
And I'm Lizzie Reisinger. The custodian was arrested on campus 3 weeks ago. Reporter Krissa Lucas has been working on the story and joins us with more.
More than 50 faculty and staff members are now defending the woman accused of stealing. I spoke to some of them and reached out to both DPS and LAPD for answers. A Tuesday morning in mid-March, Francisca Trigueros had just started her cleaning shift in the CLG Mud building. At 7 a.m., she was arrested by LAPD.
I got a message from Melissa. She is my lab manager. And she sent me kind of a late night message saying, you know, I've just heard from Francisca. She was arrested. She's really upset. She doesn't totally understand why, but here's what happened with the backpack.
Trigueros has been a custodian at USC for more than 2 decades. A few days before her arrest, she found a backpack in room 601, one of the psychology classrooms. According to some faculty members, she could not return it to Lost and Found because no one was in the office. So she locked it in a supply closet.
It hurts my feelings because she's great, conscientious, really effective, looks out for us.
On March 15, Los Angeles police officers arrested Trigueros on suspicion of felony theft. She was suspended from her job after USC surveillance video allegedly showed her with the backpack.
I myself, and I know many other faculty members in the department, are collectively appalled that she's been treated in this way for making a good faith effort to keep a student's belongings safe.
Trigueros was unable to speak under her lawyer's advisement, but 34 faculty members and 3 staff members have signed a letter attesting to her integrity. At the moment, DPS has handed over the matter to LAPD that is handling the case.
They sat her down after they had handcuffed her. So nobody really approached her. It was just an immediate escalation to calling LAPD and then DPS saying, DPS and USC basically being like, this is out of our hands.
Aramark, the independent contractor that hires custodians for USC, has not responded to our repeated requests for an interview.
I think there's a double standard at play. If this was a tenured professor, if I was on camera taking a backpack, I think different outcomes would have occurred.
Trigueros was released the same day she was arrested and has to appear in court July 12. Here are some questions that remain unanswered. What does the surveillance video show? What was in the backpack? Where is the backpack now? Was there anything missing from the backpack? Also, faculty members are now working on finishing another open letter requesting the university to investigate Trigueros' case.
Thanks, Krissa. China has sent more than 30,000 health workers to Shanghai, including 2,000 from the military. The lockdown in Shanghai has extended to the entire city of 26 million. The lockdown started in the eastern part of the city on March 28th. China's surge peaked in March at nearly 66,000 new COVID-19 cases. It has dropped significantly since then. The citywide testing comes after Shanghai reported a record 9,000 cases yesterday. Videos show empty streets throughout the city as health workers continue to spray down public areas with disinfectant. We spoke to a USC student from Shanghai about the lockdown.
Shanghai now is facing some problems. For example, some streets in Shanghai are facing food shortage problems. Some areas rely on street delivery for food, but the quality of the service is not that good. And also, it's hard to purchase food online due to huge demand. There's no doubt that my family is a little bit concerned about the pandemic, but not too worried, because we still trust the city of Shanghai, and we hope everything will get well soon.
In some areas of the city, residents are complaining about crowded and unsanitary quarantine centers, and it's difficult to get food and medical help.
And today marks the end of Trojan Check. USC students are no longer required to complete a daily health screening to enter campus. Trojan Check has been required since the beginning of the school year. The barricades forcing one-way traffic at campus entrances have been removed. The university says all students and staff should continue to monitor their symptoms when entering campus. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is using the media to call for change and share the truth about the destruction of war and Russian atrocities. Political reporter Juliet Smith tells us about his latest media outreach to the world.
President Zelenskyy appeared in a pre-recorded message at the Grammys last night, asking viewers to help tell the truth about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. He described the power of music and how it can, quote, fill the silence created by bombs.
War doesn't let us choose who survives and who stays in eternal silence. Our musicians wear body armor instead of tuxedo. They sing to the wounded in hospitals, even to those who can't hear them, but the music will break through anyway. We defend our freedom to live, to love, to sound.
Cage birds singing, great change so we can do our holy dance.
Singer John Legend took the stage and led a performance after Zelensky's speech. He performed his new song, Free, which includes lyrics about rockets and quotations from the spiritual Go Down Moses. He was joined by Ukrainian musicians who fled the country just days ago. An editor at Global Citizen says President Zelenskyy is skilled at using media as a weapon against Russia. She says 11,000 people have inquired about the campaign since the segment aired during the show.
His particular prominence on social media is really making it hard to ignore, hard for other world leaders to ignore. He seems to have harnessed social media in a way that I have not seen other world leaders do.
If you want to support the Stand for Ukraine partnership between the Global Citizen and Recording Academy, you can head to www.globalcitizen.com/standupforukraine.
A UN panel on climate change just published its highly anticipated report. The comprehensive review focuses on international efforts to mitigate climate change before global temperatures reach dangerous levels.
The G20 must lead the way, or humanity will pay an even more tragic price. I know people everywhere are anxious and angry. I am too. Now is the time to turn rage into action. Every fraction of a degree matters. Every voice can make a difference, and every second counts.
The report proposed a number of already available solutions. These include a shift toward renewable energy resources such as wind and solar power, planting trees and restoring forests, offering financial support for countries unable to afford these measures, using more electric cars, and eating less meat. The report says the current levels of global warming will have irreversible effects if immediate action is not taken.
33 Japanese American students who had their USC education disrupted during World War II receive posthumous honorary degrees from President Carol Folt. Friday's award ceremony honored the students who were forced into camps and had their education cut short. We spoke with former president of the Asian Pacific Alumni Association and a USC professor of history about what this ceremony means to the families involved.
Seeing the various families go up to receive the honorary degrees, and also experiencing together with them this tremendous sense of relief and peace that has come through all this.
For some, it was to validate that their parent had such good feelings about USC despite this injustice. And for at least one other family, it was a healing because they had very bitter feelings about the history with USC.
USC has also dedicated a rock garden to Japanese American students who were forced to leave school during the war. The garden is in the northeast corner of campus and is meant to be a quiet place for remembrance. President Carol Folt will also honor these students at this commencement ceremony in May. Ramadan is being observed on campus for the first time in 2 years. Find out how the Muslim community is celebrating this month.
California law enforcement is calling out unsafe drivers. We explore the dangers of distracted driving.
And see how the Crosswalk Collective is using street art to spread awareness about pedestrian safety.
Worried your friend's struggling but don't know how to reach out?
You could say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could write them a text or knit them a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write them a letter.
Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again.
Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Saturday marked the start of Ramadan, the holiest month of the Islamic calendar. More than 2 billion Muslims around the world observe Ramadan by refraining from food, drink, and sex between dawn and sunset each day throughout the month. Every night, the fast is broken after a sunset prayer with a shared meal, usually with family or friends. This will be the first time in 2 years USC students will be able to observe Ramadan on campus. We spoke to a reverend with USC's Office of Religious Life about what this means for the Muslim community.
Students who are Muslim and have, wherever they're from, they're, I'm sure, participating in that. They would enjoy that fellowship and community at home. But to be able to do that with students here, this is a big deal. And they love it. So just a really great opportunity for that community to connect and become even closer.
USC's Muslim Student Union is raising money to host 3 iftar dinners on campus. The group hopes these meals will ease the stress of Muslim students who are observing Ramadan by providing meals to break their fasts. A member of the MSU said one of the most beautiful things about this month was praying with fellow students again.
Is an experience that is very family oriented, friends, everyone getting together. We break our fast together and then we pray together after a couple of hours after breaking our fast. So it's just a very community thing, and just being away from home and everyone else as well, it can be a little bit tough. So just being able to have someone to stay with and all of the friends and the people that you meet on campus and the Muslim community that we're in, it makes things not only bearable but also amazing experience.
The Muslim Student Union and Office of Religious Life will be hosting weekly iftar dinners until Ramadan ends on May 2nd.
It's National Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and California wants LA drivers to focus on the road. AAA partnered with local authorities today to remind drivers of what can happen when they aren't paying attention. State and local enforcement emphasized the dangers of being complacent behind the wheel. Those dangers were also on display. The charred remains of a vehicle showed attendees what can be the potential consequences of distracted driving.
A lot of times I tell people our cars are getting smarter and we're not. And so they're relying more on their car's safety features and things like that and taking their attention away from the road.
Most people know by now that it's wrong and dangerous to get behind the wheel after drinking alcohol.
Yet those same people don't think twice about getting behind the wheel and using that smartphone.
The U.S. says distracted driving killed an average of 9 people per day in 2020. Amani Lawrence lost her grandmother to distraction in 2018. In 2021, Lawrence was hit by a food delivery driver who says she didn't see her.
You know, the last time I saw her alive was on my birthday, so that's like a constant reminder. Every year I think about her. But I also think about what she's taught me and the drive my mom has with her nonprofit with distracted driving, that you work hard, and if you want to see change, you be that change.
In California alone, 105 people died as a result of distracted driving last year. Numbers officials are hoping to dampen with this current campaign.
Do you feel safe crossing the streets of LA? A recent poll from Streets for All says that over half of Angelenos don't. Some citizens are arming themselves to make streets safer. Their weapon of choice? The paintbrush. The Crosswalk Collective is painting unapproved crosswalks at busy intersections in Hollywood. We talked to Michael Schneider, the founder of Streets for All, about pedestrian safety.
It's tragic that we live in a city where some residents with some time and paint can do quickly what the city takes forever to do, or in some cases never does. I think it's a sad state of affairs where citizens feel this unsafe and this desperate that they take matters into their own hands.
LA's pedestrian fatality rate is nearly 4 times the national average. But Schneider says it's unlikely that the unofficial crosswalks will stay in place for long, citing a similar failed crusade for bike lanes.
I know last week was a little bit rainy, but Sydney, how's this week looking?
Yeah, so the weather definitely has been fluctuating up and down, but thank you so much, Evan. Let's take a look at what people are going to be facing today. So these weather conditions, if you wore a jacket this morning, make sure to continue wearing a jacket because it's 64 today. And I'm trying to see what the rest of the week is going to look at. So let's move into our 5-day forecast. So it looks like it's going to be 70s, but it's going to heat up during the week. We're going to take it up to 79, 84, and then with a high at 86 we have, and then it's going to be back down in the 70s on the weekend. So I don't know about you guys, but this is definitely looking like beach season for me. And I hear there was some beach activity on the sports scene. Gavin, what do you guys have?
The beach sounds great, but basketball sounds even better. Up next on Sports, we're live from Doe Field before USC baseball takes on Hawaii. We recap the successful weekend for USC beach volleyball and women's water polo, and preview the NCAA men's basketball championship game taking place in just a few minutes. All that coming up next on Sports.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good stir. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay. Yeah. Hey Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Welcome back to ATVN Sports. It's your boy, the voice of Troy, Gavin Murillo, live in Los Angeles.
And I'm Riley Flynn.
And today we've got some action-packed awesomeness to cover, starting with our sports correspondent, Quillen Sortino, who is live at the Diamond.
Well, thanks, Gavin. I am live here at Dedeaux Field, where the Trojans are set to play a game, a rare home game against Hawaii. Hawaii comes in here with a 9-16 record, 3-6 at conference, and on the bump today we have Ethan Reed, who's a bullpen arm starting a bullpen game for the Trojans. And these Trojans come fresh off a sweep of San Jose State over the weekend. USC played the role of the comeback kids multiple times over the 3-game set. The Trojans erased a 5-0 deficit on Friday, and after a back-and-forth affair on Saturday, they had the last laugh once again. Sunday was a much more comfortable 6-2 win. Head coach Jason Gill on the sweep.
I feel like anytime you get a sweep at this level, they're hard to do, and we're just going to celebrate it and enjoy it. Again, winning games, it builds confidence, and we find out a lot about our ball club in some of these games.
And it would be remiss without talking about the outstanding performance of Charlie Hurley over the weekend. 8 strong innings, 2 hits, 0 runs. And this guy in the last 13 2/3 innings has allowed only a singular run. The offense has been on fire, scoring 6 runs in the last 7 games straight. Trevor Halsema at the forefront. He went 6 for 11 with 3 taters over the weekend. Back to the studio with Riley Flynn.
Thanks, Quillen. USC Beach Volleyball competed in the UCLA Invitational in Manhattan Beach this weekend, where the Trojans defeated all 4 of their top 15 opponents. The Trojans beat LSU and Hawaii on Saturday and then defeated TCU and Florida International on Sunday. Delaney Maple and Julia Scholes improved their season record to 20 wins with 0 losses. USC improved its winning streak to 18 and is ranked number 3. But the Trojans will likely jump number 2 TCU in the rankings following Sunday's win. USC will travel to Stanford this weekend to compete against Stanford, Cal, Arizona, and Oregon in the Pac-12 North Invitational. Just like beach volleyball, USC women's water polo also went undefeated over the weekend. On Saturday, the number 3 ranked Trojans won 10-8 against Stanford, the number 1 team in the nation. On Sunday, USC dominated against San Jose State with a final score of 18-5. The game was neck and neck until USC scored 13 goals in a row. Tilly Keems scored 6 goals against San Jose State, a career high. The Trojans will look to extend their winning streak to 6 this weekend when they play Arizona State in Tempe.
The madness of March has all led up to this. The Kansas Jayhawks will face off against the North Carolina Tar Heels in a battle of the Blue Bloods tonight for the NCAA Men's Basketball National Championship, hosted at Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. North Carolina looks to continue its recent success after an emotional 4-point win over Coach K and the rival Duke Blue Devils just 2 days ago. Meanwhile, Kansas has been on a hot streak of its own, dominating both Miami and Villanova. Head coaches Bill Self and Hubert Davis are excited but looking to keep their teams laser focused on the big game.
Even though we haven't really talked about it like this, but these guys really haven't tasted what the NCAA tournament's all about.
This is a special moment for them. This is a special moment for our program. So I want them to enjoy themselves. And so that's important. But we have more than enough time to prepare for an unbelievable Kansas team, and playing for the national championship, if you're not motivated for that, you shouldn't be playing.
In a matchup that will crown one of the 2 most storied programs in all of college basketball, this game is shaping up to be an absolute dogfight of epic proportions. So it's a big game, big players, and even bigger stakes. What are your thoughts on what's going to happen later tonight?
I don't know what's going to happen tonight. I'm looking forward to a good game. Both teams are amazing, and I really don't know who's going to win.
Well, UNC is feeling themselves after sending Coach K to Cancun on an early retirement, but I'm going with Jayhawk Nation, and we'll find out later tonight. In the mood to shake off your worries? Well, look no further. See how you can take free salsa dancing lessons every Saturday night. Coming up next.
Tus manos limpias estarán. Ahora seco. Lávate las manos por 20 segundos como Elmo.
Hay algo especial acerca de este lugar. Se siente como un hogar, una sala debajo del cielo y los árboles, rodeado de aire fresco y la naturaleza. Todo aquí para que lo disfrutemos y para que lo cuidemos. Tenemos la responsabilidad de cuidar de esta tierra que llamamos casa, de preservarla para las generaciones que vienen. Cada acción pequeña contribuye para un cambio mayor y cada uno de nosotros podemos hacer la diferencia. Hay algo especial acerca de este bosque. Es un lugar donde se hacen recuerdos y juntos podemos preservarla y protegerla.
Spring is here, and what better way to get some exercise than with dancing? Reporter Eileen Roboyo went to the 3rd Street Promenade to see how one dancer brings the Latin heat to the streets.
The 3rd Street Promenade is an iconic landmark of LA shopping. But keep walking and you're sure to run in to the Latin beats and dancing feet of Philip Cohen. Philip is the founder of Salsa Familia, a group that meets every weekend at the promenade to dance the night away.
There were other dance clubs out here. There was tango and swing dance. And I asked a couple of people, why isn't there salsa? I'm sure there's a community to support it. And one of them responded with, why don't you do it? And impulsively I answered, okay.
Over the years, what started off as a simple idea soon became a highly recognized event on the 3rd Street Promenade.
We started on Sunday nights with a very small group, and over the years, it built up to thousands.
Salsa Familia has been dancing here at the 3rd Street Promenade now for over 19 years. They model themselves after the street salsa gatherings that can be found in cities like New York, where salsa music originated. Dancer Chris Junge says he enjoys a weekly salsa event for a number of reasons.
The kid in me comes out. You know, it's very playful, but also the community and the diversity, all ages, from all places, different countries.
Nearly 2 decades later, Philip continues to host Salsa Familia free of charge to new and returning guests.
When there is a crowd of dancers and spectators, it's just hundreds of faces, smiling faces, that is rewarding in and of itself.
Sure enough, salsa dancing brings people together to spice up their day. For Annenberg Media, I'm Eileen Roboyo.
Our Trojan Talent Spotlight this week is junior Avi Smith, a double major in communications and art. We spoke to Avi to learn more about what inspires her work.
So a lot of times, some of my artworks have been focused on what it means to be a young woman in our digital age of constantly inputting and outputting photos of ourselves and how it makes us feel, whether that's good or bad, and where that power really lies through the digital camcorder or ourselves, and also how we perceive ourselves as young women.
Avi has enjoyed her time at USC Roski because she's been pushed creatively more than ever before. Even though she has been an artist her whole life, Avi has explored many different mediums. Her impressive talents can be seen in paintings, drawings, and photographs on social media. Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Lizzie Reisinger.
And I'm Evan Bueno. For more coverage, watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Annenberg Media. Good night.